EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchant here with your outlook for December 1st, 2025. Kinsley's Family Market in Broadheadsville, Monroe County, Pennsylvania sponsors the Monday video forecast. Celebrate the holidays with Kinsley ShopRite and let them cater to you. Whether you're hosting a cozy family dinner or ringing in the new year with a crowd, they have everything you need. All prepared fresh. Just order, pick up, and enjoy. Choose from smoked meats, homemade salads and sides, gourmet cheese platters, fresh seafood, artisan breads, and more. Top it all off with a sweet dessert from their bakery and your favorite bottle of wine. Enjoy the season. Enjoy the celebration. Happy holidays from the Kinsley's family to yours. Proud longtime sponsors of the Monday video forecast. So we're going to go through the scenarios here today with this system. We already had a first call out yesterday. It's a first call, so there's going to be some adjustments to it. Hopefully not too many for you snow lovers, but the trends this evening have been for a little bit more of a warmer push on the southeastern side. So the questionable areas are always going to be on the southeastern fringe and how much warm air in the mid-levels advect into the system, and that is going to be the case. Now, the GFS that I'm going to show you here is still on the train of a lot of snow, and actually more than our snow map indicates right now. So as we move this forward, actually start this off here today, that we have high pressure in control sitting right over top of the regions. We're going to have a mostly sunny day. As you see above me, it's still going to be chilly, 36 to 43 in the wake of yesterday's cold front. That some of you got some dustings or up to a half inch in some areas. But that was just in the morning yesterday with that cold front as it moved through. Today, high pressure is going to be controlled. That means we're going to have dry air and sinking air, and that also means mostly sunny skies. Now, once we get later in the day today, we're going to have, it's going to become partly cloudy toward evening, and then overnight is partly cloudy, then mostly cloudy, and then overcast, okay? So we have this system moving in. We're pretty sold on the timing of this being very late overnight tonight into very early Tuesday morning, okay? So as this moves closer to us, this is looking at very late in the overnight here. By the time we get to 7 o'clock in the morning, it's just about to the far eastern part of Pennsylvania by the Delaware River. So it's just getting into those areas at that point. But you see all the blue here is snow. And further south, you have a mix. So this is actually freezing rain over parts of western Virginia and West Virginia. Okay, so in those areas are going to have some freezing rain. This low is a little bit less tucked than it was in previous runs of the GFS that were showing this thing coming in really close to the coast. But it's still, so it does introduce a mix in our southeastern areas, which is exactly what we thought was going to happen. But when you get near I-95 and point southeast, it is primarily rain, after perhaps starting off as a few flakes mixed in and maybe some sleet, but at least closer to I-95 anyway. And then this wraps up by late afternoon and early evening on Tuesday. So that's your generalized timing. The GFS is good on the timing part. I just don't think it has the precipitation types narrowed down. And here's what the snow map looks here, the overnight run of the GFS, and this is what it's looking like. So, it does have the gradient cutoff on the southeastern side here, where it's a dramatic cutoff, and I do think you're going to see a dramatic cutoff, and that's why our lines on our map, which I'll show you that in a minute, was very close to each other. I mean, we had parts of, like, say, Bucks and Montgomery County here. If you're in southeastern Bucks County, you're mostly rain, and then you had two central locations in Bucks County that were we went from a coating to an inch to 2, and then you get in the far northern part of Bucks County, very far northern part up by just north of Quakertown, Richlandtown, those areas. That was just getting to the 2-inch mark there. So, but either way, I just don't think it's going to be this lucrative as the GFS suggests. It's a little bit higher than what I envisioned this happening. And one of the reasons we can say it's probably wrong is we take a look at the GFS ensemble for the overnight run, and we're looking at this sharp cutoff being a little bit further northwest than the GFS has it, and it's not as lucrative up in these areas, but the Poconos do the best, which makes sense because climatologically speaking, it's December 2nd, right? So the average highs are still well into the 40s. As a matter of fact, in Philadelphia, it's 50. So you're not going to have, a snow event here with just below average temperatures. You're going to need something way below average, and we don't have way below average. We have below average, just not way below, and so it's not going to cut it. But the only thing that's saving grace for some of these areas that are getting snow to start is because it's coming in late overnight or very early on Tuesday morning when the temperatures are at their coldest. But I wanted to show you a trend here. This is the overnight run. This is the previous run of the GFS ensembles, and you see it was a little bit further southeast. So the recent trend is to push this all to the northwest. That's going to be that could be something that will change things around here a little bit for you, for the outcome for what we see here on Tuesday. Okay, so that could be a change we're going to make with our final call map, is to push that that rain snow line a little bit further to the northwest. We'll see how that works out, but that's what it's looking like right now. Okay, so there's the previous run, and there's the current run. It's not much, but it's just that subtle difference makes all the difference as far as that rain snow line is concerned. So let's take a look at the high resolution rapid refresh. I'm going to use this instead of the NAM because I think the NAM's been lost. It's starting to come around and trending toward the right solution, but it's not quite there yet. This is giving me a better sense of timing. So this is looking at 5 o'clock in the morning. You see some snow overspreading our western areas from State College over to Selinsgrove and Williamsport, just getting into Harrisburg at this point. And it continues eastward here, so by the time you get to the morning rush, you're still dealing with snow almost to the Delaware River, not quite. But you see this is all snow here in these areas, so it's going to start off that way. You get in our southeastern areas, though, you get a mix just northwest of I-95 that's going to quickly go over to rain. When you get to I-95 and points southeast, though, it is going to be in this green and yellow. This is all rain down here. But you can see the snow is in the interior. But as we go throughout the day, you'll see the thermal gradient, which separates the warmer air and the colder air clashing. And so because of that, you get some decent rates in here of snow for at least a couple hours. And then you see the rain line continue to creep up to and past the Lehigh Valley, and then also parts of most of northern New Jersey, except for parts of Sussex County in far northwestern New Jersey, where it should remain snow up there. Places like High Point in northwest New Jersey, the higher elevations there should remain snow all the way to the end. And the Poconos do that, okay? So, but even some mixing may occur in the lower elevations up in the parts northeast. So I wouldn't be surprised if you have some mixing in the afternoon there, too. And that's what our map was generally indicating, that there is that opportunity. But this is going to all... This right here is looking at 2 p.m. By the time you get to late afternoon, early evening, this is just about done. So this is the 7 p.m. It's just about done here at this point. So it looks like a late afternoon, mid to late afternoon ending for most of you from southwest to northeast. And here's what we have as far as the snow map. This is the first call now. That's going to be updated again at 5 o'clock today. But you see how tight this grading is? You go from 2 to 4 over York, Lancaster, Reading, Allentown, up to parts of northwest New Jersey. And then it's a steep drop off here from 2 to 4 to 1 to 2 to cutting to 1 inch to just rain as you go further south and east. The best bet is these areas in area E, because climatologically speaking, that is the favorite areas for early December, because you're not having to overcome temperatures that much. So if you look above me here, 36 to 43 is the temperature spread today. 32 to 50 is the temperature spread on Tuesday, and that's because these areas up here are to remain at or below freezing, and then down here near the coastline, where it's all rain from start to finish, you're going to get close to 50 degrees. Okay, so it's going to be quite a spread across the region as that low pressure passes by. So we're going to update that again at 5 o'clock today on weather alerts, but there may be some changes if those trends continue to push everything a little bit further northwest as far as that thermal gradient boundary that I'm speaking of. So if you're not getting anything out of this, and if you're living in one of those southeastern areas, like, well, I see everybody in the interior, Poconos, they're all getting their snow, good for them. Well, you're not supposed to get it this early. So if you do get something this early, it's more like a freak of nature type thing. And we're not going to have that with this particular storm. There will be other opportunities down the line in December, like we talked about in Weather Weeklies yesterday with meteorologist Jim Rinaldi, who was on. And I think it's going to be something that might even happen at the end of this week. Now, the GFS is not really showing that. Here is the GFS for this evening. Has a cold front coming through on Thursday with not much fanfare. And then there's this system off to our south here that it earlier developed into, actually I can move that and show you that. It did develop this system into a snow event. At least light snow, and that would be Friday night into at least Saturday morning. So we'll have to keep an eye on this here in particular, because other models have it too. Here's what the Canadian has. There's the European model. So they all have something there, and this is one of our winter storm signals that we were looking at. So again, winter storm signals don't mean that you're going to get a big storm, and we talked about that too plenty, that for a couple weeks here, you're probably just dealing with this nickel and dime type stuff. Nothing really huge. The better potential for something bigger might come later in the month, but not right now. Okay, it's not that kind of pattern right now. So we're going to continue to monitor this one for the end of the week. That will be our next opportunity for some snow and or mix. This might be another slop event. We'll see. But it looks like we're going to stay cold this week, especially after this cold front that we're talking about coming through here on This cold front coming through on Thursday is going to mean business. On the opposite side of that, you're probably stuck in the 20s in many areas here for highs on Friday, right? So it's going to be pretty cold. So there's going to be ahead of this system at the end of the week, whether it hits or not. There's going to be a pretty cold antecedent air mass in place this time. There's still no high over the top, no high pressure over the top blocking this, but you have a very much colder antecedent air mass in place. So you have an opportunity here for at least some wintry accumulation with this, if this does in fact continue to show in the next couple of days. But this is still an if, even though the models are kind of somewhat agreeing on something being there. We'll see how that works out here in the coming week. But again, beyond this, if this doesn't work out for you either, we have plenty of opportunities in the pipeline. So just be patient. Winter is just not even, actually, it hasn't even started yet. If you want to go by meteorological winter, fine, but that starts today. But actual winter doesn't start until the 21st. So we got a long way to go yet, folks. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martrich. That is your outlook for December 1st, 2025. Have a great Monday.